I'm a 29-year-old female, and this happened to me just 3 years ago now. I didn't live anywhere near my family at the time, but one of my family members was having something serious go on, and I needed to be there for a few months at least. My options for living while there were either a hotel, which would be incredibly expensive, or rent a place from a private owner. Finding someone who will rent out for only a few months is not an easy task. Most people's absolute minimum is 6 months. I spent multiple full days looking online and basically had no luck until I got to Craigslist. I knew there was a renting section on the site, but I was trying to avoid it unless it was necessary. Fairly quickly though, I found a place not too far from where I needed to be. It was a very small house, which hopefully meant cheaper, and they didn't specify a minimum lease period. There was a phone number on the page, so I called it. An older sounding woman picked up. She talked very slow, but we had a conversation about the property and pricing, and she was kind enough to let me only do a 4-month lease. Fast forward to a few weeks later, I arrived at the property. Again, it was somewhat close to where I needed to be, but it was also very far out of the way from the main city, and kind of tucked away in the woods. As previously discussed, the woman didn't meet me there, but instead left a key and some papers taped to the door. I went inside and took a look around. It was very old and kind of cramped. I did a bit of unpacking, then rested after the long drive, not doing much else other than watching TV. Around 7 though, there was a knock at the door. I got up and checked my phone, not seeing any text from the lady saying she was coming over. I walked up and looked out the peephole. There was a man standing a few feet away from the front of the porch. I opened it.
Hi, how can I help you?
He kept a serious face as he explained that he was here for the fireplace cleaning. I looked over at his van that was parked in the driveway behind my car, then back at him.
It's a little late, isn't it? Almost 7:30.
He shrugged and said that's what it was scheduled for. I told him to wait a minute, closing the door and walking back to the living room. I texted the lady and tried calling as well, but couldn't get a hold of her. I then went over to the fireplace, and it wasn't all that dirty. I didn't really know what to think because it wasn't my house. Maybe it was just a cleaning service that the lady had scheduled as part of prepping the house for me. This might sound odd, but fireplace cleaning was almost such a random service that I thought the man likely wasn't lying. Like, if he said he was a plumber or something generic, I probably would have been more skeptical. I went back, and when I opened the door, the man was now standing right on the porch, just a couple feet from me. It almost scared me, not expecting him to be so close all of a sudden. Before I could say anything, he said he was trying to get out on time tonight and needed to start now. Then stepped closer and put his hand on the door, gently pushing it a bit more open. Now I was getting uncomfortable and rethinking everything.
Yeah, just give me 1 more minute and I'll let you in,
I said, trying to close the door, but the man left his hand on it and kept it open. Knowing I couldn't close it if he wasn't going to let me, I had no choice anymore but to let him in. I walked him over to the fireplace as he followed me close behind. He went up and looked at it for only a second, and right as he turned around, I took my keys from the counter and ran out to my car. The man's heavy footsteps shook through the house as I got out and into my car. He ran up to the window just as I turned it on. With his van right behind me, I had to turn off the driveway and into the woods, dodging trees as I quickly made my way back to the pavement and eventually onto the road. I called the police while driving, too scared to stop. When officers arrived, he and his van were gone, having left the front door wide open. It plainly showed that he was not supposed to be there. Of what the police and I know, the man probably knew that this house was being rented out, and that whoever the new resident was, they wouldn't know if he was actually scheduled to clean the fireplace or not, so he might be let in. From there, it's anyone's guess as to what he planned on doing.